Get ready, BD. If I hear one more comment about the Bad Batch being a mid-show, I am going to lose my mind. Simply put, in this video, I'm just going to be walking you through why I think the Bad Batch is a fantastic show through and through, seasons 1 and the first 3 episodes of 3 included. I'm making this video for anyone who doubts the capableness of season 3's ability to deliver. With season 3 of the Bad Batch coming out, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about how seasons 1 and 2 are just mid. They're full of a lot of filler episodes. You know, it takes forever for them to get to the main part of the story and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure, as you can tell by the way I started this video and the tone of my voice, I couldn't disagree more. Every single episode of the Bad Batch, including the filler episodes, are relevant to how the story will end. And what's so weird about it is I'm hearing it from people who really enjoy Star Wars Rebels and then complaining about filler in Bad Batch. Rebels probably has more filler than freaking Clone Wars and Bad Batch combined. And it only has 4 seasons in its entirety. Also, Bad Batch filler is awesome because it's all like racing and action and aliens and Jedi and clones, and it's like all the things that we love. For you to say that you don't like the Bad Batch when it's a filler episode is just insanity. How can you like it in the Clone Wars and in Rebels and then not in the Bad Batch? The job of season 1 of the Bad Batch is simply to just build up the characters and build the stakes. I know we got to see them in the Clone Wars, but we get to know them a little bit better in season 1. Yes, there is a lot of so-called filler in the Bad Batch, especially season 1, but it puts characters that we're not very familiar with into situations where we can get to know them better. These so-called filler episodes in both seasons 1 and 2 also grow character attachment. Because we're just spending more time with them, we understand more about them, what they think about certain things, how they view the galaxy as a whole. The main thing I don't understand about people who complain about filler episodes is that they completely forget the fact that it grows the galaxy of Star Wars. Because of filler episodes, we get to see new creatures, new planets, you know, new weapons, all kinds of just new, which is of course essential to Star Wars staying fresh and the longevity of the franchise as a whole. Filler episodes also put the Bad Batch in different survival states, which force them to grow as warriors and soldiers, and most importantly, as people. One of the most interesting aspects of season 1 is how the Bad Batch gets used to having a kid around in their operations. It also very clearly defines the dynamic between people who are going to survive in this war, aka the Bad Batch, you know, the people that are going to adapt to this evil empire and who are going to take it down, and people like Crosshair who join it because they don't know any better. They don't know anything else. Bad Batch season 1 also shows us the importance of choice. Omega deciding to leave Kamino and join the Bad Batch to finally have a family. It shows her making that deliberate choice. Crosshair, even having his chip removed, made the choice to stay with the Empire. He couldn't live without the Order, the structure in his life. He needed that. And even Captain Hauser later in season 1 with the arc on Ryloth, he made the choice to rebel against the Empire. I think the main theme of the Bad Batch is your choices make you who you are. Not some empire, not some cloning facility, your choices, your actions. Season 1 ends with the root of the clone troopers being completely gone. It's obliterated by the Empire. It is shot and blasted to dust. The Bad Batch's birthing place has now become their tomb. And in this finale, they are quite literally escaping their past. They are forced to become something new, because if they don't, they'll die. And it's because of those filler episodes that they've learned that they're capable of that. This is even more apparent with Crosshair and the decision that he makes at the end of season 1, in that he decides to give up his life with the Empire. He wants to move on from that. He wants to be better. He knows deep within that he cannot be as cold and as evil as the Empire wants him to be. He wakes up and decides to save Omega and his family, bringing us back to this theme of choices. Season 2 takes this format from season 1 and basically just dials it to 100. Season 2 opens with the Bad Batch in the middle of another pirate mission. You can see that they're now accustomed to this life of survival, of working and, you know, doing non-normal things for clones in order to make their way. While the Batch is doing their pirate gigs, Crosshair is still working for the Empire. He's been lowered down. He's not a commander anymore. They don't know if he can be trusted. His first mission of season 2 is working with Commander Cody, an ex-war hero of the Republic days. I love this episode so much because it is literally just your standard Clone Wars episode flipped on its head. The clones are the bad guys. The clones are the guys that are invading this planet and taking it over, fighting for the opposite of liberty and freedom of choice. Cody and Crosshair are again presented with this idea of choice, and Cody makes the right decision. Crosshair does not. For the rest of the season, he is conflicted on if he should wake up and save his family, be a part of his family again, or continue to be a good soldier following orders. Now, with the so-called filler episodes in season 2, they kind of show us how each member of the Bad Batch has connected with one another in this life outside of the Republic, outside of order and missions and all that stuff. You can really see the Bad Batch start to bond as a family and not just as a squad of soldiers. I think the filler episodes in season 2 are even better than the filler in season 1 because the writers know that Tech is dying at the end of this season. And so there's a lot of kind of small moments with Omega and Tech, especially, of them bonding and kind of learning from each other. One great moment specifically is Tech ignoring all logic, all reason, and diving after Omega after she falls through this hole in the ground. Through that one very specific moment in that one filler episode, you learn how close they've gotten, how much their bond with Omega has really strengthened. And that's just one moment. There is literally multiple moments from each filler episode in seasons 1 and 2 that demonstrates this perfectly. Crosshair is feeling more and more isolated than ever, and it takes this mission with Mayday in order for him to finally snap out of it. He finally sees the full extent of what the Empire is doing to his people and how little they actually care about him with the death of Mayday. His commanding officer literally just watches him die, and Crosshair's had enough. So he shoots him in the chest. And I think this episode in particular is just one of the greatest Lucasfilm animation moments of all time. The 2-part finale of season 2 are really just some of the strongest episodes out of this whole series. The Batch finds it within their hearts to go and save Crosshair yet again. They refuse to give up hope on their brother Crosshair, and I think that's what Star Wars is all about. It's all about redemption. It's all about finding the good in someone. And what's crazy is even with all of the adventures that they've gone on, all the adaptability that they've acquired because of these strange missions with Sid and living this pirate life, it's still not enough to save one of them. Because Tech dies, which I don't know about you, but that shocked me to my core when that happened. I fell in love with the show even more because it had the balls to do something like that, to just kill off one of its main characters. With one of the main characters just dying at the end of a season, it really raises the stakes for the rest of the characters that are still alive going into the next season. It gives you this anxiety of no one is safe. No one is guaranteed to make it out. And I think that's why a lot of people are already just kind of on the edge of their seat with season 3, more so than with previous seasons. And guess what? It's because of what seasons 1 and 2 set up. It's because of that. Specifically, what I'm hearing a lot of is that people are already more fond of season 3 of The Bad Batch because there wasn't a filler episode in its first 3 episodes. At the time of recording, only the first 3 episodes of season 3 are out, so it opens with Omega and Crosshair being in Imperial custody. Our heroes are on the ropes, and honestly, hope is slight. Hunter and Wrecker are all that's left of the Bad Batch family, and they're doing everything they can just to stay afloat. They're desperately searching for Omega and Crosshair and just trying to get their family back together again. In the midst of all that, the most evil person in the galaxy is gearing up to prolong his life indefinitely. The stakes are so high for season 3, it's insane. My main prediction for how I think this show is going to end is a clone rebellion against the Empire, which is just a full representation of choices making you who you are as the main theme of this show. And I think the clones are ready to sacrifice everything in the name of that. In Star Wars Rebels, we know that Rex, Wolf, and Gregor are the only ones that maybe make it out. There could be more, but that's the only 3 that we know of. I, for one, am really excited for the end of Bad Batch. I think it's going to be a tearjerker, but the saddest episodes in the Clone Wars and Rebels are usually the best. So regardless, I think we're in for something really special. I think that's going to wrap up this video. I just wanted to talk about the Bad Batch and some frustrations that I've had with the fan base when talking about it. I think that it's a really great show, and I think it's underrated in a lot of ways. Hopefully this video sheds some light on what a lot of people view as weak points for the show are actually what makes it great. Comment your favorite Bad Batch member in the comment section down below because it'll make engagement go up. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, may the Force be with you.